Okay, so last time, what we learned was a couple of weeks ago, we started to speak about the special character of Am Yisrael according to the Kuzari. And what is special, what is unique regarding our nation. I think that we stopped in the Ma'amar Rishon, and we started to speak about the Chaver told the Kuzari that Torah obligates only Am Yisrael, right? And then he started to explain to him why. What is so special, what is so unique regarding Am Yisrael? So, Amar Kuzari, Kavav, לפי זה אין תורתכם מחייבת כי אם אתכם בלבד. אמר החבר, אמנם כן, that is true. כל מי שנלווה עלינו מן האומות כי יטיב ממנו האלוה, אבל שבו לא ישווה אלינו. Every person that will convert will חיוב התורה מצד מה שאלוה ברא את כולם בואה והתברך. אולם חיוב התורה עלינו מצד מה שהוצאנו אלוה ממצרים, ומצד היות לא התחברות עמנו בהיותנו סגולת בני האדם. But the reason we are obligated to the Torah is because of what? Is because we are what? We left Egypt. The Kadosh Baruch Hu took us out of Egypt. That is the reason to the obligation, not anything else. Now listen carefully what the Chaver says. Chaver says that even if you have a convert, the convert cannot be what? Equal to the Jewish person. What's hard with that? Remember, who's the Chaver speaking over here? Kuzari. Who is a Kuzari? The Kuzari is not Jewish. Not only is he not Jewish, he's on his way to become what? A convert. So what basically the Chaver tells him? You should know. Even after you become a convert, we will not be the same. That makes sense? Not necessarily. Not necessarily in terms of, that's not a good tactics to speak this way with someone that you're trying to pursue. You're trying to provoke him to be, to question his life, to question his system. That's personal. A different part. Who wrote the book, the Kuzari? Rabbi Yehuda Halevi. Rabbi Yehuda Halevi wrote what? Wrote also the opinion of the Chaver and also the opinion of the Kuzari, right? He's both of them. It's not that the entire Kuzari is not Rabbi Yehuda Halevi and the Chaver is Rabbi Yehuda Halevi. Both of them are Rabbi Yehuda Halevi. Both of Rabbi Yehuda Halevi puts his thoughts, puts his meanings inside. And that's fascinating. Why is that fascinating? Because even more than that, so according to that, you go and you tell yourself that you will never be equal. That's a little bit complicated. So what we have over here is a question, and let's go on and see a little bit more what happens over here. So first of all, the Kuzari answers. רואה אני אותך יהודי מתהפך בדבריך, כי אחרי שכבר היה מאמרך נאה, שב להיות פגום. The Kuzari, what he says, I don't understand. You bought me with the way you described the world. You bought me with the way you spoke about tradition. But now, after you're saying that the Torah only obligates the Jews and the convert will never be equal to a Jewish person, I cannot accept. The Chaver says, what? I will explain to you. Not only explain to you, the thing that looks the worst in your own eyes will be basically the best. Should speak. We're getting to the interesting part. Amar Chaver, הלא תודה, should admit, כעניין הטבעי, שממנו מתחייבים לקיחת המזון, הגידול וההולדה, הם וכוחותיהם וכל תנאיהם, יתאחדו בו הצמחים ובעלי חיים. לא האדמה והאבנים, המחצבים והיסודות. He says what? Eating, raising, and giving birth to new creatures, that is something that is not connected to rocks and grounds, but it is connected to plants, to trees, to grass, right? And he says that is true. אמר כוזרי, זהו כלל הטעון פירוט אולם הם מתו. That's a general rule, and you can definitely speak about this rule more, but it's true. ובעניין הנפשי, שמנו מתחייבים תנועות או רצונות או מידות וחושים חיצוניים פנימיים וכיוצא בהם, יתאחדו כל בעלי החיים. And the animals have what? They have instincts. In some ways, they have a will. A cow wants to eat. She wants to sleep. So basically, she has a will. And that animals have more than growing stuff. That's also true. ואילו האדם נתחייב מכל בעלי החיים בעניין השכלי, שממנו נתחייבו תיקון המידות, ואחרי זה תיקון ענייני הבית, ואחריו תיקון ענייני המדינה. וככה קמה אומנות הנהגת המדינה, ואיתה החוקים הנוהגים במדינה. The human being is unique. Wow. Human being has also a mind, an intellect. This intellect basically starts with approaching towards the person, tikkun hamidot, the human being fixing himself, אחרי זה תיקון הבית, fixing his house, ואחריו תיקון ענייני המדינה, fixing the society, and that's the way that what started אומנות הנהגת המדינה. What is אומנות הנהגת המדינה? The politics, basically. Not only politics, if you learned philosophy, you should know, and you do know, that the thing that is most important in terms of philosophy is what? Is how to rule a state. How to be a king, how to rule a nation, right? Omanut hanagat medina, that is the highest science of philosophy. Amar Kuzari, that's also true. Amar Chaver, v'mai madrega lemala mizot? What is above that? Amar Kuzari, madregat hachachamim hagdolim. The Kuzari answered, you know what? The really smart people, the philosophers. Amar Chaver, no, you didn't understand me. אינני מתכוון כי אם למדרגה מבדילה את בעלי הבדלה עצמית. Something that is really different, not more than the same, not he is smarter and he is smarter, something that is extremely different. כי יבדל הצמח מן הדומם. When the growing, like the same way the tree is different from the rock. וכי יבדל האדם הבהמה, the same way the human being is different from the cow. אולם היבדלות ברב ובמעט אין לה גבול. הואיל והיא הבדלה מקרית ואינה מדרגה על דרך האמת. He says, you know, you want to understand what it means to be different? To be different means that the difference is critical. The difference is real. The difference is sharp. If we're talking only in terms of measurements, so that falls under what? The theory of mikre, incident. That's a fascinating perspective on life. Listen carefully. Now, it has also a huge implication about reality, about the perspective of the Kuzari regarding Ashgacha, regarding the creation of the world. He says, the difference between the flower and the tree basically they are the same, but more than the same, they are what? They are a mikre. What is a mikre? What is a mikre? Mikre is something that is just happened, not planned, not designed. That's a mikre. It's a fluke. The Kuzari says inside each group, the reason, don't look for a reason why over here you have a flower and over here you have a tree. Or why is there flowers and why is there trees? Because you shouldn't look for a reason in terms of that. There is a reason, there is a clear difference. There is a difference that is not mikre between what? Between the human being and the animal. There is a difference that is not that is not mikre between the unhuman and the unhuman and the cow. Between the tree and the dog. That's a difference that is not the mikre. But inside the world of cows, inside the world of animals, the difference between each animal, the DNA difference is what? Is the mikre. Inside human beings, the DNA difference is what? A mikre. It's nothing that is hashgacha. Where is the hashgacha? Where is the planning? The planning is in terms of the separate levels. The separate levels shows us that there is planning. Okay? That is the main, that is the interesting thing the Kuzari says over here. But then he goes on. Amar Kuzari. He says, if you're speaking this way, there's nothing higher than a human being. אמר החבר, ואם יימצא בן אדם אשר יבוא באש שלא תסופהו, ויעמוד זמן רב בלי מאכל ולא ירעב, ובאור פניו יקרן אור אשר העין יכולה לעמוד בו, ולא יחלה ולא יחלש, עד שבהגיעו לאחרית ימיו ימות לרצונו. כי מי שיעלה מיטתו לישון ביום ידוע ובשעה ידועה, ונוסף על כל אלה ידע תעלומות מה שהיה או מה שיהיה, האין מדרגה זו נבדלת הבדל עצמי מדרגה בני אדם? He gives basically he describes basically who? He says Superman. But let's see. A person that didn't eat, a person that his skin was glowing, and you can't look at it. He's not sick. He's not weak. That's basically Moshe Rabbeinu. 1 second. So he gives us a proof that there is something above human beings. What? Moshe Rabbeinu. But is Moshe Rabbeinu an example for the common Jew? No. Moshe Rabbeinu is unique. Moshe Rabbeinu is special. What is Kuzari trying to prove over here? What is he trying to prove over here? He tried to prove that Am Yisrael is different, that Am Yisrael is unique. And what he says, he gives an example from who? From Moshe. But how can give an example from Moshe? Moshe was unique. Moshe was different also from Am Yisrael. So over here we need to use a little bit of philosophy. Not real philosophy, but just like to say something. Just like to sharpen the point. What is the point the Kuzari trying to do over here? The king had a claim. What's the claim of the king? There's nothing above a human being, right? There's nothing in this world that is above that is above human beings. Then the Chaver gave an example. He says, what is the example? No, there is one. Who is this one? Moshe. From the fact that the Chaver gave an example, you can see what? From the fact that the Chaver gave an example, you can see, and the second you break the rule once, the rule is broken. You can't say anymore that there's nothing above human beings if you do accept the concept of Moshe Rabbeinu. You see what I say? What the Chaver did, he didn't prove Am Yisrael that Am Yisrael is above a regular human being, is different from a regular human being. He did do what? He did say Moshe Rabbeinu is different from a regular human being. Therefore, there's something above a regular human being, and I claim that Am Yisrael is above. What it means, we'll see in a second. So the Kuzari reacts. Now, Ken, you're right. Madragazo, im yeshna b'metziut Elohit malachiti. If you have this type of thing in reality, that is Elohi malachi, that is godly in some way, even it's an angel. Ve'ena b'chok enyan ha'sichin. It's not connected to the intellect ideal. Hanafshi or TV, in terms of spirit or nature. Ki'im bechok ha'inyan ha'elohi. It is connected to what? To the godly ideal. He says this type of human being, that's a human being that has inside of him the godly ideal. Regular human beings have the mind, the intellect ideal. There's a different type, if what you describe it true, that he has the godly ideal that leads him. That is him. What he means. Amar Chaver. En ele, ki im achadim mitari oto navi, she'en cholek al nevuato. These are what? a part of what? Of the ways we look on this Navi. That no one actually says that this prophet didn't exist. על ידיו נגלה להמון דבר, התחבר אלוהות בהם, ונודע להם כי יש להם אדון המנהיגם גם כרצונו, וגם כפי עובדם אותו, או המרותם בו. נביא זהו אשר הסיר את פני הלוט מעל העבר, בעודיו איך הייתה בריאת העולם, וכיצד התייחסו האנשים שהפנה המבול אל אדם, ואיך היה המבול, וכיצד התייחסו 70 אומות לשם, חם ויפה, בני נוח, איך נפרדו הלשונות, וכיצד התיישבו בני אדם, וכיצד עשו המלאכות, ונבנו הערים. ושנות האדם מהאדם הראשון ועד הנה מה היו. So what he says over here is this prophet, Moshe Rabbeinu, that everyone are maskimim, he basically told us what? That there is a nation that has this inyan Eloi, that God shows an interest in this nation. Not only shows an interest in this nation, that the godly ideal is part of the DNA of this nation. What he does over here, again, does he give a proof to Am Yisrael as a unique character in the world? No. He says, Moshe Rabbeinu, that everyone agrees that he did exist. Moshe Rabbeinu, that everyone knows that he was godly. He said what? He said that God shows an interest in a nation. Now listen carefully. Why we need Moshe Rabbeinu over here? The reason why we need Moshe Rabbeinu is that if you test every individual from this nation by itself, it doesn't look that there is this type of godly ideal. You need Moshe Rabbeinu to point it out. And over here we're getting to a complicated place. Remember that we said that what? We said that in the beginning, that how we know the existence of God from, remember what we said? Tradition, right? We said the word tradition. Over here, the way also you know the existence of the godly ideal, Am Yisrael as a unique nation is what? Tradition. But what is a tradition? Over here, something really interesting happens. He says, what is the main characteristic of Moshe Rabbeinu? Navi ze asher esir pnei alot me'al ha'avar. He revealed what? He didn't reveal the future. This prophet revealed something that is even more complicated in the future. He revealed the past. How you know that Moshe Rabbeinu is godly? How you know that Moshe Rabbeinu is unique? Moshe Rabbeinu spoke on the past and gave a clear narrative. You need to remember, we are living now in the world of the Kuzari. The Kuzari that had a dream and is looking for the correct solution. It's like Paro that had a dream and is looking for the correct solution. When Paro heard who? Yosef, something clicked. He didn't know the solution, but in some way he knew that is the right answer. In some ways that's also the claim of the Chaver regarding Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu doesn't give us a proof what actually happened. He does what? Moshe Rabbeinu gives us a what? Moshe Rabbeinu gives us a narrative that looks correct. Looks correct for us, and in some way it clicks. It clicks for everyone. It clicks for all big religions. Now over here is that's the interesting part. If the narrative wouldn't click, Moshe Rabbeinu would speak and we wouldn't believe, what would actually happen? Would we have in this world the concept of a unique nation, of a special nation? No. Now listen carefully to what I'm saying, because that's over here is the bomb the Kuzari reveals. The Kuzari says the reason why Am Yisrael is unique, why Am Yisrael is special, because Am Yisrael chose to believe to Moshe, chose to follow Moshe Rabbeinu. And Am Yisrael chose to believe the narrative Moshe Rabbeinu revealed. Without believing the narrative, no one would know about what? About this unique nation. Remember, Moshe Rabbeinu came, according to history, after 200 years of slavery, according to the Torah's history. People didn't believe him in the beginning. Only after they chose to believe in what happened, in some way it all clicked. In some ways they started to accept that they're unique, that they're special. But before, did they feel special? No. Without believing to Moshe Rabbeinu, Am Yisrael would never know that they are Am Sgula. But without knowing that they are Am Sgula, you wouldn't have a Am Sgula. Am Sgula is created by Moshe Rabbeinu. Listen carefully. This narrative of Am Sgula is created, is over there, is revealed by Moshe Rabbeinu. His character, his charisma. That's what pushed us to believe in this concept of a special nation, a godly nation. Moshe Rabbeinu revealed the entire past. He revealed till the creation of the world. And since everyone believes that Moshe Rabbeinu is true, so therefore what? Therefore he is true. I want to stop also over here. What it means if everyone believes that Moshe Rabbeinu is true? Who says that's a factor for anything? Let's say we wouldn't believe that Moshe Rabbeinu is true, is real. Over here we are going now inside the second claim of Rabbi Yehuda Halevi. Rabbi Yehuda Halevi says a lot what? Look at reality. Look at the world. If the world behaves in a certain way, if everyone behaves in a certain way, there is a sign that it's what? That it works. And since it works, there is a sign that it's what? That it's true. He looks on reality way more than the intellect. And that's fascinating. And he says, since everyone believes, all the big nations believes in Moshe Rabbeinu, so therefore probably it is true. But now, when in the second he opened the point of creation, what happens? So the Kuzari jumps. Amar Kuzari. And I'm Memdalid. Avzeh tamua. האומנם יש אצלכם עניין ברור מבריאת העולם? You have a counting from בריאת העולם? Look carefully. What he is asking, do you have a number from the times the world is created, right? אמר החבר, אכן, רק למניין זה אנו מונים, ואין מחלוקת בזה בין היהודים למן ארץ הכוזרים ועד ארץ כוש. The חבר says, yes, we have a number. And there's no מחלוקת, again, there's a consensus between everyone. אמר הכוזרי, וכמה אתם מונים על בריאת העולם? And how much you count to the creation of the world? And now look carefully how he answers. 4,500 שנה. ופירוטן פורה שלו מימות אדם ושת ואנוש עד נוח. 1 second. The king asks about what? The creation of the world. The Chaver answered regarding what? Adam. The Chaver is really careful. He's not going into the question of the age of the world. He's going into the question of the age of what? History, tradition, man. The Chaver is really careful in his actions. The Chaver is really careful in his answers. It seems that the ideal that pushes the Chaver again and again and again is what? It's the concept of history. It's the concept of tradition. שנה, ופירוטן פרה של ימות אדם ושת ואנוש ונוח, ואחרי כן עד שם ועבר, ומהם עד אברהם, ואחרי כן מצחק ויעקב, עד משה עליו השלום. אישים אלו היו לפי סדר יחסם הנמשך ללא הפסק, כגרעין הפרי לאדם וכסגולתו. He says what? He says human beings are like the fruit. But there are special individuals in each generation that they are not the fruit. They are what? They are the seed. They are the seed. What is the difference between the fruit and the seed? The seed does what? What? It grows. The seed grows to a new tree. The seed has the power to do what? To develop. It has the power to do what? To change. To change the world. A fruit doesn't have the power to change the world. A seed has the power to change everything. A seed is not necessarily, it's actually fascinating, because if you take a seed, you see that what? You put the seed in the ground, what happens to the seed? It breaks, right? It disappears. And from the destruction, what happens? Something new comes out. That's the concept of the seed, right? What is a seed? What we have over here? In my opinion, that's fascinating. He says, the special human beings from Adam till the end of the days are the seed. They are the seed. That is the meaning of being a seed. The power to change, to develop. ולכל אחד מהם היו גם בנים אחרים, שלא היו כי אם הקליפה לגרעין, ועוד אמרו לאבותם, עד כדי להתחבר עניין אלוהי בהם. All the people that were the seed, they had also different children that were not what? That were not seeds, they were fruits. ולכן נמנע המניין לפי האלוהים לבד. כל אלה היו יחידים, לא קיבוצים. He says what? We count from where? From the first human being that is what? A seed. So it could be that you had also human beings that were not seeds before Adam, right? But it says we count for what? We count from Adam, because Adam was the first seed. עד אשר הוליד יעקב י"ב שבטים, שכולם היו ראויים לעניין האלוהי. Yaakov had 12, and each one of the 12 were seeds. ואז התגלתה אלוהות בקיבוץ. And then basically God revealed himself in the group. ומאז נמנע מניין לפיהם. ואם אנחנו שנות הקדמונים לפי שהמסרנו בתורת משה עליו השלום, יודעים אנו מה שהיה ממשה ועד היום הזה. And then we know for ourselves the history from Moshe till our days. What we have over here is fascinating. What is the godly power according to that? The godly power is the power to do what? To be a seed. What it means to be a seed? To change the world. The godly power is the power to change the world. The godly ideal is an ideal of creation, is an ideal of creating a new thing. Not being obligated to all traditions. Not being connected to all traditions. The power to change. The power to create. The Kuzari gives over here a miraculous claim. You want to know what makes Am Yisrael special? They have the Inyan Elohi. What is this Inyan Elohi? The power to change the world. The power to make the world a better place. So now I'll ask you a simple question. If that's true, why not a convert? Why not the convert? I can accept only a person that has a certain amount of traditions, of basically seedly traditions, we can say that, it can work, but why not a convert? Not simple. There's no answer meanwhile. There's no answer. But we need to be aware that if we need to define right now, what is this godly ideal, this godly interest that Kadosh Baruch Hu has in Am Yisrael, is the power to be a seed, is the power to develop, is the power to change, is the power to create something new. Koach HaYetzira. הכוח היצירתי הוא המפתח לעם ישראל. הוא המפתח לסגולה, לעניין האלוהי. So now the Kuzari reacts, answers. פירוט כזה מרחיק מן הלב את הספק הרע, פן יש בזה כזב וקנוניה. דבר אשר כזה לא ייתכן, כי הסכימו עליו אפילו 10 אנשים בלא שהתבלבלו. ויגלו על יסוד קנוניותם, בדרך כלל דוחים אנשים דברי מי שמביא לפניהם ראשונה מניין זה ובקש מהם להודות בו. על אחת כמה וכמה לא ייתכן, כי הסכימו עליו המונים רבים. בייחוד שהמניין שלכם עודנו קרוב למאורעות, ואין הכזב והבדות יכולים לחול בו. He says, the fact that Jews do not fight among each other on the numbers, it shows to him that what? That probably the way that we're counting is right, is correct. Again, the Kuzari gives a claim from what? Sorry, gives the proof for what? He gives the proof from the fact that people do not fight about something. Look carefully, the harmony is so important for him. In some way, the harmony for the Kuzari is the proof for everything. And the second you have harmony, you have what? You have a proof. Because human beings are creatures that are not harmonized. Usually the human beings are creatures that do clash. But when you have a consensus about something, shows that it's true. אמר חבר, אמנם כן הוא. אברהם עצמו היה בן דור הפלגה. אולם הוא וקרוביו עמו שמר על לשון עבר סבו. אשר על כן נקרא בשם עברי. Avraham lived in the time of who? Of דור הפלגה. דור הפלגה is מגדל בבל, is when הקדוש ברוך הוא הפליג את הארץ. He disharmonized the world. Everyone had the same language. הקדוש ברוך הוא separated the nations, moved the nations from place to place. וכשבא משה 400 שנה אחריו, כבר הגיעו בני אדם לידיעות מדויקות על השמיים והארץ. משה רבנו was 400 years after Avraham Avinu. What happened? People knew already specific ideas regarding the ground and the earth. בדור כזה הופיע משה לפני פרעה לפני חכמי מצרים. In this type of generation, a knowledgeable generation, Moshe came before the wise people of Egypt. והנה גם חכמי בני ישראל שהסכימו לו בדקו וחקרו. חכמי בני ישראל agreed to him, but they asked the questions. הואיל ולא האמינו אמונה שלמה. Why? Because they didn't really believe כי ידבר האלוהים בשר ודם. That the God can speak with who? With the human being. ועמדו בספקם זה עד אשר ישמעם האלוה את דברו בעשרת הדיברות. Listen carefully. So they didn't really believe Moshe Rabbeinu until when? עשרת הדיברות. So they didn't believe that God can have an interest, an ideal in human beings until God actually had spoke with them, until they actually experienced something. כך נהגו בו בני עמו. That's the way people treated משה רבנו. לא מתוך שכלותם, כי מתוך חוכמה. They were smart. כי יראו, פן יש באותותיו תחבולה מתחבולות היצגניות, או אומנות דומה לה, אשר לא תעמונה בפני הבחינה, כי הם כמטבע מזויף. They just didn't believe. Why they didn't believe? Because son, Moshe Rabbeinu is tricking them. I think we'll stop over here and we'll summarize that what we had today is basically a question of history. Is the question of how Am Yisrael became Am Sgula. Am Yisrael became Am Sgula after Am Yisrael believed to who? To Moshe Rabbeinu. Am Yisrael in some way created himself as the Am Sgula. Am Yisrael had to accept this claim of Am Sgula. And we'll see in the future more implications of this idea.